23 and I don't drink. I don't drink coffee, and I'm a student, so that kind of puts a damper on a lot of things that I have to do. Taken a toll on a lot of different parts of my life, in the social aspect, I can't go for coffee with my friends. If I do go out for drinks, I just go out and watch them drink. I first realized when I had neuropathy, it came from my mom and my opa. After my opa had his chemo, you could really see it start to deteriorate, and that kind of clued into my mom to try to look into it. We found out she had it and it was genetic, and then we got talking more about it just at home, and I started to realize that I take a lot more after my mom. Waking up every day and seeing how my mom deals with it and seeing the struggles that she goes through, it makes it a lot more real. Ever since I was young, I had these symptoms. I never really noticed or registered that it was part of neuropathy. I thought it was just normal and it was a part of everyday life. Everyone thinks of neuropathy and you can't walk, you lose muscles in your hands, strength in your hands, but the biggest surprise that came to me was the falling asleep. I always had trouble falling asleep, so I thought it was normal, yet again. Laying in bed with the hot feet, so hot that you can't focus on anything else, or your whole body's pins and needles, or when you're sick and it feels like sandpaper and you can't lay on it because it feels like you're on a bed of nails. It's really surprising to think that something that's so exhausting on a day-to-day basis also keeps you awake at night.
For me, it's stupid, but the most frustrating thing is because I'm losing the feeling in my fingers and the strength in my hands, there's things that I can't do anymore. But if I drop something small on the floor, no word of a lie, I'll pick it up and drop it, pick it up and drop it, pick it up and drop it. I used to really try and work out and be fit, and it never really worked out for me. So I was always kind of the wimpy kid. And now, just going up a flight of stairs is hard. Like, I feel it and I'm out of breath by the time I get up a single flight of stairs, even though I don't smoke and I try to do all this stuff. I work in a building downtown and we're on the 30th floor. And I never really thought about it, but then we had a fire alarm, and it was just an alarm, right? By the time I walked down the stairs, I got to about the 10th floor and I was ready to cry. It was just awful. My legs were shaking, and you're surrounded by all these people, and yeah, by the time I got down to the bottom, I was just ready to collapse. If I was to tell somebody or talk to somebody who was newly diagnosed with neuropathy and they were wondering, they're at a loss, what can they do? Because chances are their doctor has told them, there's nothing you can do, we'll just give you some pain meds. There you go. I'd say, well, that's not really true. The doctors prescribe, but there's a whole lot to the self-management kind of piece of it. Avoiding stuff and adding stuff in. And diet. I think diet is hugely, hugely important. So I first heard about CNA when I was Googling, right? I was Googling for research. And I saw that the CNA was in Calgary and that they were having a meeting, so I went to my first meeting. And the first meeting was Dr. Haxton, who's a chiropractor with neurological training. And I was absolutely blown away because everything you research, there's nothing you can do. It's like you just got to learn how to manage it and all that kind of stuff. But he was talking about other stuff that you could actually do and things that you could, like reducing the sugars, reducing the salts, reducing the caffeine and the alcohol and all of that kind of stuff. And I kind of went, oh, there is stuff I can do to help myself.